On this very special episode of Michael the Comic Nerd, we review Birds of Prey and the not so great emancipation of one Ronald Johnson.
It's okay, buddy.
No, it's not. Let's put it this way. It's okay for the movie, not okay for my career. Let's put it that way.
All right.
The movie will live.
Yeah.
without that part. But yeah, I could have got a couple commercials off that.
No.
Just saying.
All right. So, Birds of Prey. You want to go over your story really quick on that first?
Yeah. So I thought it befitting to tell the audience that before I review this with you, there is a conflict of interest that I have to fully disclose.
First of all, welcome back.
Well, yeah. I'm back
in town.
Yeah. Back in town. My birthday is this weekend, so I came back in town from Hollywood. I've been there for, I want to say, about half a year.
Give or take, yeah.
About half a year without coming back. So, and the reason, one of the reasons why I did not come back was actually this film. Full disclosure, I was cast in the film. I had a part in the film that eventually got cut, and I will explain. So basically, this story goes all the way back to 2018. I was actually, it was holiday season, November, when I got the audition. I went over to the casting office. I think it was the same casting office where they did the Disaster Artist, because they had like a lot of the promotional material around there for that. So I went in, and I got this audition out of the blue. Like I was on an ABC TV show as a featured extra, and then I left that set, and I got the call right after I left that I got this audition.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, so I didn't know what it was for. They wouldn't say. They gave, it was like one line. I auditioned for 2 roles. It was what would eventually end up being Black Mask's henchman that walks in for a couple of seconds and gets thrown out. Where he's like, yeah, we have Harley Quinn downstairs, and he's like, get out, right? I auditioned for that one. But I also auditioned for this one dude called Tough Guy, right? Both of them had lines. So I went in and I auditioned, and I'm like, you know what? This is out of the blue. This is a major motion picture because I'm over here on this lot. So I don't know what it is, but the percentage of you getting, when you just get out to Hollywood, the percentage of you getting a role like this as your first big thing is like, 0.5%. Yeah. Right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go in there, leave it all on the floor. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to take my feedback. If they redirect me, whatever, I'm just going to be cool about it. So I went in, and they were videotaping me, and I did a screen test, one for one role, one for the other. And the second role that I did was the one that I got cast in. And I knew that I had a good audition because when I did the line and I did the character, they didn't redirect me, number one, and the whole room just erupted in laughter when I did the thing, because they were like, just do it the way you would do it, right? So and all the names were changed, you know what I mean? Yeah. So in this,
I was like, oh hey, Barry Quill.
Yeah, well, actually, her name was Rudy. Okay. So yeah, so I'm saying, it's Rudy. I have no idea who I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I'm just like, okay, it's a big budget movie. This is the line, do the thing. So I make them laugh. And then it's one of the last things I do before I go back home that December, because I had booked 2 theater plays over here. Yeah. Right? So I left, and I did not hear until right after I left that I booked the role.
Nice. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then I still didn't know what it was. So my agent called me back and was like, hey, Ron, you booked it. You should be getting information shortly, right? The next thing I know is I start getting emails in my inbox for Warner Brothers Birds of Prey. Yeah. Okay, and at that point, freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, I remember because I was like I was working my other job at the time, and he like messaged me and was like, dude, you're not gonna believe this.
Right. Well, I didn't, and I didn't divulge everything because I was under NDA, but told Michael I got something big, right?
Yeah.
And during that period, I got a couple more auditions for some other things that I can't talk about. And then and so that materialized. So I got booked in December to shoot the movie in April, right? Yeah. So I do my thing. I come back to Hollywood in March. I shoot in April. And I will tell you this, shooting in April was the best acting experience I've ever had in my life. Like, it is, if there was like a dream scenario of your first acting gig in a major movie, it was it. Like, I showed up, the assistant director knew who I was, shook my hand, I didn't know him, led me over to my trailer. I had my own trailer. Like, I had my own makeup chair. I went in there and like I had a haircut stylist, but my hair was bald, and they're like, tough guy. Well, he looks like a tough guy, so we don't have to mess with his hair.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
That's an ego boost right there.
Right. My own costuming. I got to go to the Warner Brothers costume department, and they took me back there and dressed me up in a bunch of stuff. So much fun. But yeah, got to the set. It was a 10-hour day. I met Margot Robbie, which was crazy. I got into like a black SUV, and we got transferred to the set, which was on location.
Were you in the car with Margot Robbie? Or?
Well, see, that's a funny story, because I was sitting in the car by myself, and because the extras were being transported separately, like the walk-by extras and all that. Yeah. And so I got put in the SUV, and I'm sitting there waiting to go, but there's a SUV in front of me. And so I hear on the walkie-talkie, okay, Kathy's gonna ride with Margot. And I'm like, yeah, right? So they're in front of me.
Nice.
Right? So we're going over to the set together. And then what I noticed was so cool was that when we got to the set, they had Margot Robbie's double out there already to confuse the paparazzi, because the paparazzi was across the street taking photos thinking it was her, right? So they set up everything, we're doing everything, and then Margot comes out, okay? To her credit, to her everlasting credit, the first thing she did was walk over to myself and the extra that was next to me, his name was Will, and introduced herself, shook our hands, learned our names, super legit about the process. She treated us like we were actors just like her, you know. Then she went into I don't want to spoil it, but she went into the building. Yeah. Got her direction notes over there. At that point, Kathy Ann came over and talked to us. Here's how it's going to go. Here's where the camera's going to be. Met her. She was super cool. And then I proceeded to do the scene with Margot Robbie for 4 hours.
Damn.
The same scene, from every conceivable angle, from every, and they had this really cool jib and dolly for the camera that was mechanical, and it extended like 60 feet. It literally looked like Dr. Octopus. It was like an oval kind of camera, and it extended and retracted, and there was and moving it all around and stuff. It was super cool. So long story short, I had a full day of being treated like a star with none of the responsibilities. Okay. So I got paid really well for that day. I will not disclose the sum of money, but I got paid for that day like a actor would. Yeah. That's on a major set. And I worked for maybe about 6 hours in a row. It was a 10-hour day. And I actually got the last 4 hours off. I got to just chill in the trailer and sleep, right? And then they called me back. They were like, "Hey, we might need you for this one thing." But then I stood there on the set on standby next to what's her name? The one that plays Kane, Cassandra Kane, the young girl.
I forget her name.
I didn't get a chance to talk with her, and it's my first day on the set, so I don't know anybody. But I sat right next to her in the holding area. Oh, right? Cool. Yeah. So it was her and her family, because she's a minor, so she had to have her parents on set.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So got to sit with her and ended up not shooting anymore. So that was my day. It was a 10-hour day. Got paid for the full day. Met some famous people. Yeah. And was in what I thought was going to be my first major motion picture. So here's where the story gets kind of not great. So after we shoot, They periodically update us with the emails. You know, they're talking this and that, whatever. And I full on, again, to get where I got right as I'm getting to Hollywood, I thought it was a fluke. I'm like, the whole time after I shot it, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get cut. Okay? Yeah. I'm going to get cut out of the movie. Nobody knows me. I'm not super important to this plot, so they'll probably cut me down for time. That's what I'm thinking, essentially, right? But as time goes on, it becomes more and more evident that they're going to keep me. Right? Yeah. Because they'll send me an email here, hey, we're doing this. They'll send me a text here, hey, what's the correct spelling for your name so we can put you in the credits. Yeah. At this point, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be in the movie, right? So I'm getting excited. Then, but then I don't hear anything for another couple of weeks, and then the thing is, I see the premiere in Mexico City, right? The premieres are happening. I'm not getting invited to the premieres, you know, so I'm like, okay, it's not happening, right? Then they invite me to the premiere in Hollywood. Okay? So I get all nice and dressed up. I bring my wife. She gets all nice and dressed up. We go to the United Artists Theater. You know, the United Artists, the company started by like Charlie Chaplin and everybody. And beautiful, beautiful place for a premiere for this movie, right? So we go there. Everybody who worked on the movie and their families and stuff are all there. Super cool. I run into the assistant director, the first AD of the movie, who remembers me. Shout out to Oliver. He's a good guy. And he literally stops and shakes my hand and is excited to see me and was like, oh, dude, you were the easiest person to work with. You know, like da-da-da-da-da. He turns to my wife and is like, you should be so proud of your husband. You know, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? So I'm assuming, you know, he doesn't know either. So Kathy Ann and the producers step out on stage. They thank everybody for being there. I got some footage of it on my Instagram. Really cool people. We watch the movie. And I'm enjoying the movie. Everything's happening. I wait until the end, only to find out that I have been cut from the film. So the first time I saw it was the first time I was notified that I wasn't going to be in the movie. They cut my scene.
That's what it feels like going into the office, like, and finding that someone cleared out your desk.
Right. Right. And so, major bummer. I got cut from Birds of Prey, but I was in it. So, and my scene, I will explain my scene as we explain the review. Yeah. Because it's tied to something that we spoil.
Yeah. So when we get to spoilers, we can go into that.
So yeah. So that is my story. Full disclosure, it has no effect on how I feel about the film. Everybody who worked on it was the picture of professionalism. Nobody did anything bad to me. I don't have any red meat for you guys who are hating on the movie. They were all great people. I had a great time. I was looking forward to being in it. Just didn't happen.
But Joker is the most important cultural movie.
Look, man. Well, I didn't hate Joker like you did.
I'm speaking on behalf of the angry penises out there.
But yeah. Birds of Prey was 100% a great experience, except for the premiere of the movie for me.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense.
And so I was super embarrassed, but I'll live. And I think you guys should still see the movie. We'll discuss that now.
Yes, which now transition. We actually saw the movie.
I've seen it twice.
Yeah, I've seen it once.
Okay.
And it's really damn good. It's a really good movie. Honestly, like you and I were kind of talking about before, like really my biggest complaint about the movie is I wanted more.
Right.
Like, that's kind of like
if it was longer, it wouldn't have bothered me. Yeah. Like, and if they extended some of the character arcs, it wouldn't have bothered me either.
Like honestly, like as and this is going to like very mild spoiler. Whereas like when they actually do like go into like the whole Birds of Prey and they all work together, they have like maybe 2 scenes together as an ensemble piece.
Right. Which I think is okay.
I would have liked more personally.
Well, I like the forming of it because all of the strands kind of tie together for those.
True, it is a culmination, but then again, like they all work so well off each other.
Yeah,
and it kind of feels like I know in the Avengers they only really fight together in one scene, but they still like talk and interact throughout the entire thing. And I think that's kind of interspersed.
And I think Kathy Ann kind of copied that beat.
I
You know what
noticed that, but I
like,
feel like
where they all band together, that one shot of them all together. I think that's what she was going for.
that's kind of one of the vibe I got too. But I feel like I was thinking about that. I was like, well, why was it okay in the Avengers and like a little more distracting here? Is because like there were still like the whole cast still interaction or talking to each other through the entire movie still, even though they didn't really fight together until the end.
That's true.
And this one, like you look at like the pair will occasionally like meet up and they interact for a little bit. Mostly like Renee Montoya will talk with one of them.
Talking about Rosie Perez.
Yeah, Rosie Perez. Who I kind of have a love-hate relationship to Rosie Perez.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm familiar with her early work where she had that really high, squeaky voice that used to annoy the shit out of me.
Well, see, to me, that's her freaking golden age. Like, the role she took when she was super young, I think define her as an actor.
I mean, Fearless is still a great movie.
I'm talking about the Spike Lee movies. I'm talking about, Do the Right Thing and, that era of Rosie Perez is my favorite.
Fair enough.
You know?
For me, it was always like, the tone of her voice is always got the wrong piece of my ear.
and like White Men Can't Jump is another favorite.
I've never seen that one.
That's great. You should watch it.
See, a lot I know Rosie Perez from is like his more or lesser known movie called Fearless at Jeff Bridges.
Okay.
I think it was like 1991, I think.
Something like
I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I'm familiar with it, but it's just one of those ones that I missed.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty solid movie if you can track it down. It's kind of hard to find.
Okay.
But anyway, so like I would because when they are actually together and they are like working out, you're like, oh, this is like a really good cast. They work really well. So like I want more of that, and then it's like, oh shit, are we at the end already? Like that's kind of the experience I had. Like this can't be the end. They just all got to. I guess that's the end.
Yeah, which leads me back to what happened to me. This movie was definitely cut for time.
Yeah.
You'll notice it in a few places, but especially the ending that I was a part of was cut for time in a big way.
Yeah,
like it was chopped down to size.
Yeah.
So and I feel like you said, I feel like that was a studio directive.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a producer directive.
That makes most sense to me anyway. Because based on what I saw, I just feel like there's some parts I feel like there should be more here, and there's just not. Now, I know I'm shitting a lot on this movie right now, but let me say, I did really like this movie. I really loved it.
Yeah, I dug it.
So before I continue going to my really my only one main issue with the film, talk about things I really liked about it. First off, Margot Robbie.
She is Harley Quinn.
I think it was Bob Chipman put it best, where it's she feels like she's trying so hard to sell this character and make this really to associate her with this character so much that you feel like somebody should tell her she's no longer auditioning.
You know what? I totally get that. Yeah, I get that feel.
But that's not a negative.
Okay. So we were talking about
Margot Robbie and how committed she is to the role.
Yeah, and it was evident from. What's cool about Margot Robbie is that, and I can say this is cool, right? like I've met her, I actually done work with her, right? So as an actress, what's cool about Margot Robbie is that she knows that this is a character and there is a demarcation and a huge separation from who she is as a person and the importance of playing this role. So when you meet her, she looks like she's my age, but she's actually younger than me. But she carries herself in a super adult manner. You know what I mean? And it's very cool. She's smiley, she's bubbly, she likes to talk. Like when she shook my hand and we talked, she asked me what my name was and I told her and she totally mispronounced it. I guess she's used to exotic names or something. I'm like, yeah, my name's Ron. She's like, oh, Alan. I'm like, no, it's Ron. And then she kind of giggled and she was like, oh, well, I completely screwed that up, didn't I? Shit like that. But when she turns it on, though.
Yeah, she's on. She's on it. Yeah.
She's on.
And I think it's funny because you and I think reviewed, was it Focus a few years back?
Yeah.
Where Margot Robbie is still kind of fairly up and comer, and we're both kind of I think we compared Will Smith to her as Will Smith's the old grizzled actor who's just been in this for too long, and Margot's the up and comer who's just trying to kind of prove something.
Yeah, and she's super invested, bro.
Yeah,
and so her Harley Quinn is definitely not who she is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But she puts it on thick.
I mean, it's like as good as a fit as like Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool, kind of.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Whereas like, okay, you're just now going to be forever associated with this character now.
Yeah, I feel like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, and
in the same way. That's my point.
No, I think like legit, he is the comic book character hiding underneath somebody's face.
Yeah.
You know, I think that is him.
Yeah.
This is a bit different. This is definitely an acting job that she's doing.
Yeah.
You know, she's not like this at all.
That's true.
So you're right. She puts it on thick, but I think it's out of genuine respect.
Oh yeah.
For what this means to people who love this character.
Like, let me be clear. When I say she puts it on thick, she puts it on fat, I'm not saying that as a negative.
Right.
Yeah, like I'm saying that she's committing because Harley Quinn is naturally a zany character.
Right.
And you kind of need to go all in.
Yeah. All I'm saying is can confirm.
Yeah.
can confirm. Not from a bird's eye view. I watched it.
Yeah, and like I would say it's not even like a bad performance anywhere in this movie, really.
Not really.
Yeah, like everyone pulls their weight pretty well. I loved what they did with Huntress. I thought she was great. For a character that really, unless you watch like Justice League Unlimited, like nobody really gives a shit about.
but no, what I dig is
Huntress fans on my ass. Anyway.
Hey, well, we're not disrespecting her.
Yeah.
Huntress is like to me. She is like female Batman, more so than any other Batwoman or
Bat equivalent, yeah, right. Bat adjacent character.
Yeah, like Huntress got the story that kind of aligns with.
The Huntress storyline gets convoluted really fast when you look into it. I guess the only other one that would be like closer would be Cassandra Cain, ironically enough.
Okay.
Because her comic book version is very different than the live action version in this movie.
Right.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
But I think it's cool because it gives it like some room to grow.
Oh yeah.
Like Cassandra Cain can still grow up and be that chick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So
there's room, like I said, there is room for growth there. Like I'm not painting as a negative, just different.
Yeah. And so I agree with you, but I think that's to her credit.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's to her credit that Margot Robbie puts it on thick, for Harley Quinn.
I think so too. And again, it matches the tone, it matches the writing, it matches the character. Like I think I saw one person on like some angry penis online saying something like that's why I call angry white boys who get mad.
You're calling them angry penises?
Angry penises.
Okay.
Laura Taylor Turner did Captain Marvel, and it just got stuck for me.
Okay. Speaking of Captain Marvel, like side note. I have always thought that Elizabeth Winstead should have played Captain Marvel over Brie Larson. I feel like, and I think this confirms it.
I can see that. Yeah.
Her chops in this movie confirm it, that she could have easily done Captain Marvel and would have gotten a way better response than I think Brie Larson did initially.
I can definitely see where you're coming from on that. I would say there was still going to be angry penises about Captain Marvel no matter what.
I'm sure. But Winstead got that gravitas about her, and I enjoyed watching her.
No, she's a terrific actress, very underrated. So like, I can totally see, and for the most part, I agree. I like Brie Larson. I agree with what you're saying.
I'm not a fan. So again, here's the dichotomy, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of non-expressive actors or actresses. Brie Larson doesn't feel to me like she activates her face at all, and that's what bugs me about it. But
that's fair.
But again, the dichotomy is I am a fan of some performances of male actors who do the same thing that Brie Larson did in those movies.
Yeah.
So I can't say that she's trash. For that.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like Arnold doing the deadpan as the Terminator. I defend Arnold to my grave. You can make fun of Arnold all you want to, but how many motherfuckers do you know can play a convincing robot? Okay? Like, that takes craft. I don't care if when he opens his mouth and talks, it's kind of quirky or it's weird. His deadpan robot face is robot face.
Hey, if you want to really see Arnold Schwarzenegger actually legitimately act, look at Maggie.
You told me about that once before. I just haven't seen it.
Like that's like one of you won't believe a Terminator can cry.
Right. And so Brie Larson, I can't hate on her for doing what some guy actors have done that I've been okay with.
Yeah, for sure. Gotta care for the double standards there.
Exactly. And that's what I'm pointing out. I'm pointing out that while I'm not a fan, doesn't mean that what she was doing wasn't important or wasn't valid.
Yeah. I completely agree.
That's it.
That's fair. On that note, moving on to other actors I really like, I have to give credit where credit's due, and I love him to death. Ian McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
Sorry, Ewan McGregor.
Okay, yeah.
Not Ian McGregor, totally different. Ewan McGregor as Black Mask is just terrific.
I dig it, bro.
I
dig it.
Black Mask is one of those lesser known characters, and they tend to kind of blow. It like depends really who the writer is. Like everyone always kind of points to Under the Red Hood, the cartoon movie.
Right.
I always kind of thought that movie did him dirty, honestly, because it's like Black Mask is a guy who'll like make like sarcastic like New York gangster wisecracks and then feed you your own eyeballs.
Yeah.
So,
no.
And I feel like Ewan McGregor actually kind of perfectly captured that.
I got it too. Like his fits of rage are total spoiled white rich dude.
Yeah, like he flips on a dime.
Yeah,
like he goes from like spoiled like rich dude to like suddenly like. And then it just gets like it just goes from like kind of hard to take seriously to terrifying. They're
equal parts super villain and spoiled brat.
Yeah,
and they both come across completely even. Mm-hmm. Like I believe he can make that transition on a dime because Ewan McGregor does it really well.
Yeah, and Ewan McGregor's a terrific actor who again kind of underrated.
Right, not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's sure as
everything he's done is pretty good.
Like say what you will about the prequels, he was the best part of them.
That you know me. The prequels are something that I defend because I see it through a different lens than other people, and he's one of the big reasons of that.
Oh yeah, he perfectly captured Ben Solo.
Obi-Wan, dude.
Not Ben Solo.
His Obi-Wan.
I'm tired. It's been a long day.
It's okay, bro. It's okay.
All Star Wars fans, how dare you?
Yeah. You gonna get it. I was like, you definitely gonna get it.
And remember when Darth Vader said, "Do or do not. There is no try." That really got me.
You're a wizard, Gandalf. May the Force be with you. All right. Yeah, we just destroyed ourselves.
I can take the heat.
So, but yeah, back to Ewan McGregor. Yeah, not sure why he's underrated. He pretty much everything he pretty much does turns out great.
Yeah, I can't think of a bad movie he's been in. Like if he's been in this business a long time. Like was it Blackfish like not too long ago? Big Fish, something like that. Movie.
Yeah, there was that. But also he did Dr. Sleep. I don't think his part of that was bad.
Oh, Dr. Sleep was great. I love Dr. Sleep.
He's about to be Obi-Wan again, so cool. He did Trainspotting Part 2.
Yes. And Part 1.
Yeah, well, Part 1 is what put him in Hollywood in the first place, right? Him and Johnny Lee Miller.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know?
I watched Trainspotting a long ass time.
It's been a while for me too. That came out, and I was actually new when I was like a kid. In middle school.
I think I watched that during my auteur phase when I was like...
Oddly enough, they used to put Trainspotting ads in comic books.
No, that's
I got a few comic books that have the Trainspotting ads in them.
That's weird to think about. What kind of demographic were they aiming for there?
Well, bro, you got to understand, man. In that era, most comic books were adult, and it was.
Was that like during the Frank Miller?
Yeah, and it was and McFarlane. McFarlane doing the Spawn joint. Everything was pretty much adult, and it was us kids that were like doing the taboo thing by buying the comic book because technically it was legal, right?
Yeah, back when look, us were so edgy without realizing that Watchmen and Batman Returns are like total satire.
Right, and
so really when we think about it, Watchmen and Batman Returns, not Batman Returns. What was the one Frank Miller did? The classic one. The Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight Returns are kind of like the Fight Club of their comic book era. And that
it's supposed to be.
It's like all the douchebag kids take it super, super seriously. All the adults are like, do you read the same thing?
Well, okay, I see that for Batman, but Watchmen had some very serious themes in it.
It did have very serious themes in there.
About the previous 30 years in review.
Sure, not saying either one didn't have serious themes.
Right.
That being said, Watchmen was total satire. The whole point was
I agree. All the way down to the way they use the colors in the book and the costumes.
All the traditional tropes. No, these are awful people. You should never want them in your real world.
Right. They were meant to be that.
Yeah, they're meant to be awful. And everyone's like, oh, it's so serious because it's so dark. It's like, but the whole point was you don't want these morons.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they were truly disturbed people.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
so yeah.
aside.
So
Black Mask, really good.
Really good.
Really good. And like again, my one like nitpick, and again slightly spoilery, same kind of thing. This is the comic nerd in me, so like I did kind of want him in the Black Mask a bit more.
to put it on physically.
Actually have that on, because I'm not gonna lie, he made it work. Like he changed personality a little bit to kind of match the mask thing. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they waited towards the ending. I think it would have been cool in the scene where he has Harley Quinn there captured, for him to be in the mask as well.
Yeah, like I thought it'd be cool. Like it was like a war mask kind of a thing.
Well,
like he puts on to be scary.
Yeah. But also they missed an opportunity there, because Zaz goes downstairs and he's like, "Wait, let me get dressed."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He could have came down with the.
That would have been cool.
Like,
and then at the very end,
Yeah.
and I was like, I get why they did it from like a production standpoint, because they don't want to cover his face for too long.
Well, and they've had that with numerous. They've had that issue with numerous DC heroes.
Yeah,
like V for Vendetta. I'm glad it worked.
Me too.
Because that could have been really bad.
And it worked out in their favor, because then it swap out actors like mid-production.
Right.
So it's like, well, we're not showing his face, right?
So you can redo the audio.
Yeah. We can just like throw Hugo Weaving here, no big deal, right? And it's like, all right.
Man, why is everybody trying to ruin this video?
It's okay. It looks like the problem took care of itself.
All right.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, like, and I like the ensemble cast. Like, I kind of wish there was like more of some ensemble cast in there, but I understand again. Even though it's called Birds of Prey, it's pretty obvious it's a Harley Quinn movie.
Well, let's put it this way. When we go back to and we say that this movie was cut for time.
Yeah.
If you go on the IMDb, I'm not the only person that got cut, bro.
Oh, is there a lot of people got cut?
Bro.
Yeah.
There are so many people before the movie came out, we were on the cast list, and now if you go back, it says uncredited.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of people who got cut from this.
Damn.
Which again makes me feel a little bit better, like because your initial reaction is like, did I not do good enough? I
mean, no, like I think like this is probably again just studio interference. I'm willing to bet, because like I know this movie was a bitch to even get made.
True.
Because I think it like only got made because Margot Robbie like said like, well, I'll keep doing Harley Quinn, but I want to make this movie, and then they eventually caved.
Right, and also the producer who did the Joker was responsible for this movie as well. Mm-hmm. He had like a couple years planned to put out movies, and this was one of them. He tacked it on because of how the audience responded to Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. Yeah. Right? So this was part of his grand design, but towards the end, when Suicide Squad came out and the numbers reached a certain level, he got kind of wishy-washy about this one, from what I hear.
Because I guess the Sad Clown movie needed more money. But
I guess so.
That's my own personal bias.
Paid off for him. It worked.
For better or worse.
It worked.
That being said, going back to Suicide Squad, one of the more fascinating aspects of this is watching how clearly it was meant to be a Suicide Squad sequel, and how hard they're trying to pretend it's not a Suicide Squad sequel.
Yeah,
Because they even there's even the part when they're like she's having the flashbacks to her relationship with the Joker, and then like they have scenes that are clearly from Suicide Squad, and yet all the convenient shots of Jared Leto Joker are just like to the back of the head.
Yeah, well, they barely even showed anything.
Yeah,
and. What I thought was interesting about that, and I think what might have hurt the film, is that you mentioned the Joker at all.
Yeah, I can see that being said, it's kind of like
that could have hurt the film.
I get what you were saying. That being said, a big part of Harley Quinn's identity and character arc through the comics of the past decade has been moving on from that abusive relationship. So I don't really know how you could have done it without bringing him up at some point.
What I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. By bringing him up in the cinematic language, right?
Okay.
If we're talking about Joker, we see imagery of the Joker, like the thing on the wall where she's throwing knives at it or whatever.
Yeah,
that works. But if we even get a hint that Joker might have been in this movie, you know how DC fans are.
Yeah.
You know how they are. Right? Mm-hmm. And if you lead with trailers talking about, Joker and I broke up, they're like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Like, why would you do that, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's Jared Leto, they probably felt like he should have been in there at this point. Mm-hmm. So there's two groups, right? There's people who, if it looks like Jared Leto's in the movie, they're like, I'm not going to see it. Yeah. And then regardless of whoever it is playing the Joker, if they're like, if he's not in it, I'm not going to see it.
Yeah.
I will say,
to Margot Robbie's credit, one of the favorite little interview blips I saw was her reaction to the Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
What was her reaction? I didn't see that.
It was kind of great. Someone was asking like, so how do you feel like? How do you think Harley Quinn would get along with like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker? And she's like, oh, they would not get along at all. He'd be over there like, hey, Mr. J, you want some pie? And he goes, leave me alone. I'm going through some shit.
Well, okay. Here's what I would say: the Joker at the end of the Joker movie would have gotten along with Harley Quinn.
Maybe I feel like it's still becoming the Joker at the end of the Joker movie.
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother thing.
But if a girl showed interest in him, I'm pretty sure he would have been all right with that.
Maybe.
So
maybe he blamed her for something. He blames all his problems with women in that movie.
There you go.
But anyway, so that part made me laugh. But yeah, other than that, like the energy, the lighting, the set design, the action set pieces are all terrific.
Bro, it checks all my boxes. Like, if you watch reviews with me about female-centric superhero movies or female-centric action movies,
this is the kind of shit you need.
This is what I've been talking about all along.
Yeah.
If you watch this movie, you'll understand why the other ones don't measure up. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, the action sequences. My biggest gripe for action sequences, men and female, are cutaways.
Yeah.
I hate them.
Yeah.
I can't stand them. You know who did the stunts? Who the stunt team was initially on this film? The John Wick stunt team. That's why it's so fucking good.
Yeah, it shows.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And regardless, there are shots in there where you can tell that it's a Harley Quinn double. But some of those, she's in there doing work, bro.
Yep.
And there's no cutaways. She handled her business. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and like small little touches too. Like again, someone on Twitter pointed this out. I was like, this movie is directed by a woman because in the middle of the fight, someone hands her a hairband.
Oh yeah. Black Canary, the hair tie.
Yeah, the hair tie. Yeah,
I got that. I totally got. See, but to me, I'm like, if you knew you were gonna fight, you should have went out there and won to begin with.
Yeah, well, better late than never.
Yeah,
but like little touches like that, she was like, okay, there's actually like care to do this right.
Again, and it's female-centric, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. That was a joke for women, and cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's like, and again, it's like little touches like that show they actually care rather than like, yeah, look at her, she's tough and rah rah, she's doing punchy. I mean, she's a tough, independent woman.
Punchy. But
I'm sorry, you go back from the '80s to like even like some modern day films that ever try to do like strong, independent woman. That's always good. Like, yeah, she's tough because she's like all serious and punchy.
Well, there's some pretty good ones, man.
There is, and that's improving, and that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Like, let me be clear on that.
There's some pretty good '70s, '80s tough gals out there.
There are, but but that being said, you notice a trend.
There's a couple that were tack-ons because they were copying the good ones.
Yeah, right? Very true.
Which didn't end up very well.
But like, I feel like it's getting better. I feel like they're like, well, first off, more women are directing like big Hollywood movies, which is good.
And this is the rationale for having these movies in the first place.
Yeah.
Because to get better, they have to do bad ones, mediocre ones, decent ones, good ones.
To learn how to actually
how the cinematic language has to carry for people to get the message.
Yeah.
This is the best I've seen in this current era. I will say that.
I would agree with that, honestly. Yeah, as far as like female-centric superhero films go.
I mean from action to dialogue to character choice to even costuming.
Yeah.
Functional costuming.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And not just like these absurdly like overly sexy things, and like all that stuff. And I grew up in the time where like everyone had their ass cheeks hanging out.
Well, see, and I grew up in the time where the female heroes were understated, but that's what made them sexy.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Or like ones like the most like anything written by anything drawn by what's his name? I think it means Spawn, Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, but
like,
I'm talking
unrealistic like spine.
But I'm talking about superheroes or female hero characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I'm talking about Ripley from Aliens. Mm-hmm. I find her character choices incredibly attractive. Okay?
Also known as James Cameron definitely has a thing.
Okay, he has a thing.
Between that and like Terminator 2.
But whatever it is, those character choices that those females decided to make, I'm like, I want a woman like that.
And even on like the most recent Terminator that James Cameron produced, like, James Cameron has a type.
He definitely has a type. Unfortunately, he can't stick to that type.
When's Avatar 2 coming out there?
Read the tabloids for that. I am one to gossip. Right? So that's what I'm saying. And in this current era, it's the best one I've seen, hands down. There are elements of other movies that do the job well, but it's never come together like this before.
And I think it's another reason why I find the success of movies like Joker get more frustrating, because to me it's like, okay, we've seen this story a million times. We've seen it done better by the movies that Seamus ripping off.
See, you know what's funny to me?
What's that?
Is that when I watched The Joker, I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? This needs to be a play. This doesn't need to be a movie because we've seen this kind of movie.
Yeah.
If this were like an Arthur Miller play where somebody was on stage doing all this stuff, I would have thought that was super interesting and avant-garde. Had they done it that way.
The Joker has the same issues that Batman vs Superman and the Watchmen adaptation had, where they watched the materials they wanted to rip off without understanding what actually made them special.
I could see that.
Because I went back and I watched Taxi Driver and I watched King of Comedy after I saw Joker's. He took all the scenes practically word for word and missed all the subtext, like completely.
That's
but the point's like, okay, we don't need more movies justifying why sad white people are sad.
Well, or why deranged people do deranged things.
Yeah, we don't need that. Like, what we do need is more movies like with something like this, or like in regard to something with like why deranged people are deranged. At least like know what you're doing. I would say like there's room for it, but
yeah, your criticism is harsh, man. But it's not invalid.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I ended up enjoying the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I didn't enjoy the movie as much as you hate it.
Yeah, right now.
Let's put it that way.
That's okay. We've had that dichotomy before,
Yeah.
where like you've hated something. Like I thought it was fine.
Right. So I enjoyed it, but I'm not gonna say like it's the end all be all.
No, like some people are, who have decided to try to like outwit me on fucking YouTube comments. I'm like, dude, I study films I'm trying to study films for a living. You're gonna come at me. You better be ready to fucking play.
Well, okay, but also I think half of the grabs you get is from Muha, because that dude's a bomb thrower. Right.
Muha likes to intentionally provoke.
Yeah, that dude's a bomb thrower. I'll tell you that.
I know. I actually gotta see him after this. We're seeing Sonic the Hedgehog tonight.
Oh, okay.
But that's not till 10:30.
People are saying it was good.
I heard it's all right. So,
Yeah.
Muha likes to push buttons just to kind of see what happens.
Do your thing, bro.
He does it with love. He does it with love.
Yeah, do your thing, bro.
If he tells you like I'm legitimately get upset, he'll back off.
Yeah. When I get a chance to sit down with him, I'll beat him on Star Wars one day.
Oh God.
We'll have a talk. I will beat him.
I'm gonna be far away.
I will win. I will win this fight.
I'm not doing this. I'm stepping out. I'm tapping out. This is me done.
I will win this fight. Don't worry. I got it.
I mean, you guys might agree on the latest Star Wars at the very least.
We do, but the reason why we agree is because of the one before that.
Yeah,
which we don't agree on.
Very much so.
So
like as polar opposite opinions about it as you can get.
Right. Right.
That's a video for another day. Anywho, so Birds of Prey, you should definitely go support this because not a lot of people are, and it's really disappointing.
Yeah, and again, I'm super bummed that this is not my first major motion picture, but I'm not bummed about what I helped to create.
Yeah,
and the people that I met and the people that I worked with who all got together and did something really good. And I think that you should see it. Yeah. I really do. See it while it's still in theaters.
Please support
it's
this
one of those
movie.
movies. It may lose its luster when you sit down and watch it at home, but I think a big screen representation of this is good for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
No, like it's something like, and please, for the love of God, support this movie so we can get more movies like it.
Exactly.
For the love of God.
Exactly.
It's like kind of like when Knives Out came out, and I was like, for the love of God, see this movie because I want more movies like this.
I still got to see it. I didn't get a chance to go see it while it was out.
Did you ever play Clue or like old school like mystery movies as a kid?
Of course.
Then you'll love Knives Out.
Of course. Okay.
It's got that with a little political twist on there. That's kind of brilliant.
Interesting.
So yeah, oddly enough, if we didn't get Last Jedi, we wouldn't have Knives Out. So it's kind of a mixed blessing. So,
I guess.
I'll take what I can get.
I mean, if we're really gonna take the Infinity Gems and turn back time, I'd prefer that Last Jedi didn't exist. So I would let Knives Out go.
And for the greater good, Muha, we got Knives Out. Anyway, so I think that's pretty much all I could think of to really say about Birds of Prey. Do you got anything else you want to Your scene.
Oh, okay. So
now we're going to spoilers.
So now that we're past the point where we can add spoilers, right?
Yes, at this point.
So my scene, which I was so thankful to get, it's directly tied to at the end when they're on Founders Pier and they're on the docks, and she gives that little monologue where she's like, "I'm Harley fucking Quinn," right? Where she's trying to get that respect for herself. The line that I had in the movie was, "That's fucking Harley Quinn," because she comes out, so she's seeking that validation, and after she kills Black Mask, my scene was to further validate her as a badass in the tough guy community, because we're outside of the jewelry store where she sells the diamond. She walks out, and I'm talking with my friend, and I stop him. I'm like, "Dude, that's Harley fucking Quinn," and she acknowledges us. And it's a cool little moment. So it kind of puts a bow on that statement that she makes at the pier when she kills Black Mask. So I was super excited to have that line and to be a part of that. I'm sorry that you guys don't get to see it.
Yes.
But, well, yeah, whatever.
I believe.
You believe?
I believe.
Well, after what happened, I'm going to just behave as if it's not going to happen.
I'm going to be optimistic for the both of us.
Okay. Well, that's fine. But regardless, it was such a great experience. And that was my part in the movie, which I think would have been a cool ending.
Yeah.
And so go see the movie regardless.
Yep. And I'm gonna call something now, because when back when the first Avengers came out and they showed Thanos at the end credits, the first thing I said was like, "Awesome. Where's my Guardians of the Galaxy movie?" Never thinking for a minute it would actually happen. Now it's one of the biggest franchises in the
And then they literally announced it
I was like, "Fuck yes, I called it." And now I'm gonna say it now. We now have established through the opening cartoon intro of this movie, which is gorgeous, by the way.
It's great.
It is gorgeous.
It's great.
That Harley Quinn is bisexual.
Yeah.
It is established.
Yeah.
They've finished it in canon, which means I want my Gotham Sirens movie.
The word is that was supposed to come before this.
Yeah, either way. I hope it comes down, because I want her, I want Catwoman, maybe they bring the Matt Reeves Catwoman with Poison Ivy, and I want those two to be a thing. Make that real.
I don't see why not.
So, I'm calling that right now. Gotham Sirens. It's going to happen.
You know what? What would be even cooler is do like a Civil War type thing where the Birds of Prey got to square off against the Sirens.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
You know what I mean? And so Harley Quinn, further plot complexity, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Because she basically started Birds of Prey. So then she has to fight them, you know?
Gotham Sirens, make it happen.
Yeah, and just rewinding back to when you called Guardians of the Galaxy, I called Fox going to Disney, and I called the X-Men going to Marvel. I called it.
Gonna rub that in my face forever.
I called it.
All right, good, everybody.